Hello and welcome to Gang Culture Podcast, a series educating you about gang culture. This season, our host Ellis Rouse continues to talk with an array of unique voices to inspire, empower, and cause change. But also this season, we are exploring alternative activities being offered to teens in Delaware. Whether you are listening at home, school, or on the way to work, we hope you enjoy and share with others.
Welcome to Gang Culture. This week we are joined by Jeremy Moore, co-founder, executive director, and head coach for More Than Fitness. After suffering an injury during his time in Afghanistan, he began a journey that led him to discovering an impactful blend of physical, emotional, and mental recovery that helped birth More Than Fitness. For over 20 years, Coach Moore has worked with youth development, and today he joins us here on Gang Culture. Jeremy, thank you for joining us.
What's up, Val?
What's up?
It's great. Thanks for having me here.
I got to add that Coach Moore is a really good friend of mine. We worked together for many years, and I really consider him a brother. You know, we've been through some things together, so this is special for me. So I covered a bit about what you've done in the intro, but could you expand a bit about how More Than Fitness came to be?
Yeah. So when I was in the Army, I deployed to Afghanistan. I got injured in Afghanistan pretty significantly, which ultimately led to me being medically retired and being disabled, and I needed people to take care of me. So those people were my parents. So I was back in my childhood bedroom, like 24 years old, thinking that my life was over, you know, the stuff that I had worked for, the stuff that I had wanted. In the Army, I felt like I understood my place, and that when I worked hard there, I was rewarded with stuff, and that worked for me. I liked that. And then that was all gone. My uniform didn't matter anymore. I didn't even like to wear it because I'm now, in my mind, not what a soldier should look like. And I was really purposeless and sad and angry and lonely. And I have still a wonderful relationship with my high school football coach. He was very integral in the man that I am today. I went back to visit him, and he said to the other coaches, there's something wrong with Jeremy. Like, we need to bring him back into the fold. And my whole time that I was injured, I had continued to exercise. I swam when that was the only thing I could do. And as soon as I could get into the gym, I got into the gym. I got creative. I figured out how to make the exercises work for me. And I could lift some pretty heavy weight. I could move some pretty heavy weight. So he asked me to go in the weight room with a couple of football players and train them. I don't even remember what season it was. And inside of the weight room, very quickly, we developed a really powerful relationship, me and these students. You know, it was, for me, it gave me a purpose again. It made me feel valuable again. It felt like it was something that was worth working towards. And it fed my ego. Like, I knew I was lifting more weight than these kids had ever seen, and I was crutching up to the bench to do it. They were looking at me like, what is this dude? Who is he? And I don't know what it is, but there are some things I like about him, and I want those things. And for them, I think I provided a unique opportunity that I was completely transparent with them. And suddenly, stuff that I didn't want to talk about with anybody, I was comfortable talking to them about it because I could make it matter. Like I could make it mean something. I could make the stories have value if I told them how I navigated these conflicts and what worked and what didn't. And and that was the beginning. Me and 3 students in a tiny gym at Mount Pleasant High School. And that was 2014. And we've grown and grown and grown and grown. And now we have our own space. And I've been able to hire some wonderful coaches and like Ellis over here and develop really wonderful relationships with students and adults. And, our space is like a real community. We have a real community. We are honest with one another. We don't sugarcoat things. We are direct. There is structure. There are expectations. I'm not the only one that holds everybody accountable. Everybody holds everybody else accountable. And it's not perfect. Like I just described a utopia. It's not a utopia. We have lots of challenges, but it has grown into this really beautiful thing that just started with an adult that needed some healing and some students that were hungry for some guidance. And yeah, that's been the energy that has pushed us forward the whole time.
Yeah, you mentioned that you built this program and you hired some coaches, and I was one of them. And I just remember walking in that gym saying, "This is unbelievable. Like this exists." And I just kept thinking, if I was there, the ages of those students that we had, at my age, at that young age, if I had that, I just was imagining like where I could have taken myself, and some of the things I could have learned early. So it is a special place. It really is. It is.
You're a part of that.
No, thank you. Thank you for creating that space. What do you think are some of the more pressing issues you deal with right now in 2026?
That's a hard question. I spend a lot of time with kids, probably most of my time, honestly. I've done a lot of studying about youth and adolescence, so I have experience in front of me. I have school and education, and I have probably read more books on adolescent psychology than any other books I've read. I feel like this is the most difficult time it's been in a long time to be an adolescent. I think realistically the biggest issue is they still live very isolated lives. It's sort of like we developed all these technologies during COVID to be able to stay in communication with one another. And society has sort of accepted like that those types of communication, like FaceTime and video call and Zoom and text and Instagram, that those are adequate substitutes for human beings spending time together. And it's not. And we're seeing that, I think, play out in our country at large, But I see it play out in young people's lives. They are totally isolated. They're alone. They have very fragile relationships with peers. Most of them have pretty fragile relationships with the majority of the adults in their lives because they don't feel understood, because they are living in a post-COVID communication world, and the adults in their lives remember what it was like before, and that's how they communicate. And so they don't communicate well. And yeah, they're just very alone. They're super isolated. The connection that they do get is often in schools and through like sports teams, if that's available. Like, we all know that there's a serious accessibility problem for youth. So there's not like stuff that youth can do for free, especially after age 12 here in the state of Delaware, because purchase of care runs out, which is ridiculous. But like, teenagers will be fine. They'll figure it out on their own. No funding for after school stuff. Very little. Yeah, that was a long way to say that, like, I feel the number one issue is that they are isolated, even if they're with people, even if they have an opportunity to engage, they still feel alone.
Yeah. It's crazy how they have social media, and that's supposed to be like an outlet to be able to reach a lot of people, but it's almost like a facade. It's like it's not real, it's because these people that you're communicating with can act like whatever they want to act like. They don't have to really be who they're portraying to be on a phone or their social media page or profile. And I can see where that isolation, contributes to that. That maybe they want to be somebody and they're not able, and this is the way I can do it. I can hide behind this profile, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of your online presence is all fake. Like, the headshot that I have on my website is photoshopped. The bio that you just read, we wrote and rewrote and rewrote and rewrote and rewrote and rewrote because I didn't like this word and I didn't like that, and then with the comma and too many things. Like, it's all curated. It's all put together. It's perfect. Like, I had time. I mean, don't go look at my website now and see how bad it is and be like, your website is not perfect. But the words that are on there, we took a lot of time to pick. Whatever people put on TikTok, Instagram, I mean, no kids are on Facebook unless they're buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace. But the adults that are on Facebook, like, that's all just for show. That's not a real human experience. It's not a real existence. And I think that because that's what they see, because they get that experience of what the social presence is, they experience that more than they really experience real relationships in real life. They think that that is real. And like, I probably couldn't even read my bio as well as you just read it. Like, I would miss up the words and switch it, and knowing me, I'd probably ramble and talk for way longer because it's real life. Like, this is what it is. There's no editing real life. And yeah, I would feel incredibly isolated too if 80% of the human interaction that I experience is curated and like perfect, and even worse, most of it created to manipulate me into buying something. It's not even about trying to look pretty. It's like, let's trick these children and their parents into buying something that they don't actually need. Like, yeah, duh. Of course it's tough to be a kid right now. Of course they're alone. Of course they're scared to like socially interact. They think they need to be perfect all the time. They don't think that they get any redos. They're constantly afraid of somebody taking a video of them doing something stupid and then sending it out to 6,000 people all at the drop of a hat. Come on, man. Like, it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather go back to Afghanistan than be a teenager today.
Wow.
I mean it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exaggerating or being stupid. Even at 38 years old and sore and slow and a lot lazier than I used to be, I would prefer to exist there than to go to middle school today.
That says a lot. Have you ever encountered gang culture, whether it was within your own life, the youth at More Than Fitness, or even simply through pop culture and the news?
Yeah, I mean, of course. People that have been a part of the program over the years are like peripherally connected, and then they go away for a while, and then they come back. And, you know, my program is open and accepting. You follow these rules, you meet these expectations, you're here. I don't care. But these are the rules and these are the expectations. If you can't handle that, get out, you know? So that has happened. I have experienced, again, gang culture from the periphery of like I'm from here. I grew up here. I went to all the same schools that everybody else in this area goes to. You know, there was always gangs that existed. I grew up right outside Edgemore Gardens, where you live right now, and there has been some iteration of a gang in Edgemore Gardens the whole time I've lived here for 38 years. There's always been something, and there's always been something on the north side, and then when you go past 32nd Street, and you know, I'm aware. I've always known. Honestly, it was never like nobody ever offered for me to be in a gang. I didn't look this scary when I was a kid. Like I had a bowl cut and my voice was a whole octave above, and like, you know, I had a mean look on my face, but I was 4'7" and 100 pounds. So nobody was like, yeah, let's get that kid in the gang. But I was never attracted to that either. I had friends that joined gangs and were around gangs, and I would hang in the neighborhoods where gangs were, and I knew what it was, but it never seemed attractive to me. And in hindsight, I am pretty sure that it's because of because I was on sports teams, because I played sports. And so, like, if there was any sort of hole I was looking to fill, it was filled by sports. Like, I had friends, and socially, and I've never been a very good athlete, but I would, from a very young age, I can remember being recognized for like most improved, which basically means we love that you work hard. Like, that's what that means. I never improved. Like, I wasn't any good in the beginning of the season, and I wasn't really any better at the end of the season, but I worked hard. And if they needed somebody to do something, I would do it. Like, great. That was all I got trophies for, but that was enough. Like, I had got recognition from outside of my parents, outside of my family.
Yeah.
And I watched that lifestyle take people that when I was in 6th grade were my people. And by the time we were in 10th grade, they were unrecognizable to me. I did not even know, like, I didn't even know who they were. And when we could get real close to each other and we were like in private moments, we could be cool again, but like not really in public, you know? They were different. They changed. Something happened to them, and I didn't like it, you know, and that kind of kept me away. And the only other experience that I have is just since I work with youth, I want to know. Like, I want to know what is going on. I want to know what the challenges are with the youth, and gangs in our area are. It's real. This is real. It's not. This is not like like kids that are trying to like play gangster. These kids are shooting people.
Yeah.
And they're shooting each other. It is real. And it's right around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some reasons in your mind gangs seem like an attractive option to an at-risk youth?
Yeah. I think of myself as like my opinion comes from a place of lots of information and lots of experience. And I'm sure if you asked me this question 5 years ago, I'd have a different answer. And you asked me five years ago, I'd have a different answer. But right now, I feel like the attractiveness to the gangs was sort of the same attractiveness that I had for the military. Which was like, I can be a badass dude. I can be the real deal. I can be like Denzel Washington in all of his movies. Like that. When I was a kid, I don't know if I knew this or probably didn't ever say it out loud because I'm white and Denzel is not white. But like, that's what I wanted to be when I grew up, who his character was. And, you know, the military attracted me. There's danger, there's excitement, but there's also camaraderie and brotherhood and loyalty and all these things that I had seen in movies. Like, what? You know, okay, I've seen that these great relationships and these awesome stories come out of these football movies. And then I watch a war movie and it's like that times a million, you know, like these typically men are doing superhuman feats of physicality, of mentality, and they're doing it by like challenging each other, by pushing each other, by being a part of a family, a different family, a chosen family, a family that feels more like intentional.
I like how you correlated it to the military, and because when I was growing up, I joined the gang, and it was what you just expressed. It's, you know, I didn't want to be a gangster. I just wanted to be a part of something that people respected, and at the time, my neighborhood was losing what I grew up seeing. It was a sense of community, and I seen the gang as the antidote. Like, okay, they're respecting these drug dealers. They're going to respect this gang that I joined. And I thought it could hopefully bring that essence of community back. So that was attractive to me. And when you mentioned military, I can see where, because I actually wanted to be a part of the military too, you know, so I can see where those things combine. It seems like exercise and working out directly leads to better overall mental health. Why is that?
Yeah, so it doesn't seem, it's facts now, you know, science backs it up. Yeah, it helps to balance the chemicals in our brains, and the chemicals in our brains, maybe they're responsible for our thoughts, maybe they're responsible for our feelings. You know, we understand a lot more about the brain than we used to, but that's still not really understanding. There's a lot of guesses going on. It's like the beginning of medicine in the brain. People are figuring it out. I've seen it work for people. I've seen it work in crisis moments where people are stressed out of their mind and damn near having an anxiety attack. And they do some sort of physical activity and it regulates for them. I've seen it work like long-term for people with depression that have been a part of the program, young people with depression, old people with depression, and they show up and they work out every day and like nothing else has really changed, but they feel different. And the way that we do it at More Than Fitness is you get the physical benefits, right? But then, like I talked about, like you validated for me, thank you. We have there's a community of people at my gym, and you get to practice with a bunch of people that are at varying levels of fitness. I've never worked out before. I haven't worked out in 5 years. I have a hip replacement. My dad, I'm 75 years old. I don't want to do that. To like super fit. They all work out together. And just like the kids, we as adults are also isolated. You know, if you heard me say that earlier about kids and you're like, oh yeah, that's sad for them. But you didn't go, whoa, I'm isolated too. Sorry, you're isolated too. We all are isolated. And so being around people also makes you feel better. So you get a double hit of dopamine or whichever one it is. You get some from working out, and then you get some from being in a group of people that you care about and care about you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would like to add to that. The feeling that I get from working out is the same thing I was looking for when I joined the gang. It was like, I just want to feel respected. And if I can pour into myself and I can help myself with fitness, you know, I don't know what's going to come out of it, but I know it's the right step. You know, it's funny. Today I was with my neighbors, two white guys with a bunch of tattoos, and a guy in the gym looked at me, older white guy. He was like, you found the two whitest dudes you could bring into the gym? And they started laughing. I said, these guys are my brothers. They're my neighbors. He was like, man, you guys are hardcore. But I bring that up because that community, you know, that's what I enjoy. When people can look at you and say, wow, look at these guys. This guy doesn't look like he belongs, or they don't look like they should be hanging out. But in the gym, it works. You know, we all want the same thing. And one of our students used to say, I just want to be 1% better, you know? So yeah, physical fitness is a key. I call it a cheat code. It's like, you know, a cheat code in life.
You know, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, anecdotally for me, working out kept me alive. It was the only thing that I had any like success at when I was broken. It was the only thing I could do. It was all I had. Mm-hmm. Like I woke up every day to go to the gym. My friend was going to call me to pick me up to take me to the gym, even if I didn't want to go. Mm-hmm. And like, it kept me alive. I don't mean that metaphor. Like I would have killed myself if I didn't have that. That's how it helped me. It gave me, I think exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah. And you said something that triggered what happened with me when I moved to Delaware. I was looking for, when I moved here, I wanted something different. I was in New York. I was getting in the stuff, and I just wanted something different, and I wasn't finding it. And then my mental health started to go down. And a friend of mine that I used to work with looked at me and he was like, Al, I'm coming to get you Saturday, and we're going to the gym. And I'd never been to a gym at that point. I used to work out in the house at that time, and he picked me up, took me to a gym. That was about 25 plus years ago, and I haven't stopped since. So that it just brought me out of whatever I was going through at that time, you know. So if you could make sure that youth watching walk away with at least one thing, what would it be?
Yeah. You know, I was thinking about this podcast all day. And the one thing that I just kept coming back to as what I feel like is the antidote. You use that word. I like that word, the antidote. Is we have to create spaces where young men can build relationships with positive male role models so that they can experience connection and community. They can experience being praised for doing well and being asked to step back into line when they're into line is the wrong word. Step back within the boundaries. Like, these are the boundaries that we play in here. You got to stay in the boundaries. And those adults showing them love and compassion and wisdom, and those adults working on themselves so that they're not just creating more problems and passing down more generations of bull crap. It's very hard for me to not cuss. Bull crap. That's the antidote. The problem is that what I said in the beginning. We're alone. Everyone's alone. Like, if I'm alone and I feel unsafe, I'm going to look for the people who look scary. I'm going to look for the people that have the real respect in my community, not the police officers, not the church people and the church leaders, like the ones I see every day on the street that people don't mess with. If that's all I see, and I see those people and they're like, they have a good relationship with each other. They back each other up. You know, when stuff hits the fan, one person will take the fall for the rest. Like, that's like a real familial thing. You know, if I'm not getting that anywhere else, and if that's what my family members have done, and if that's what the dude across the street has done, you know, not to mention it's quick money, fast. I can have nice fancy shoes on my feet and do a good Instagram post so that people think I'm cool, showing off my fake life. You know, the secret, young men, is that the secret to success is having like a relationship like you and I have, you know? Mm-hmm. We care about each other. There is no bullcrap in anything that we say. If you got a problem with me, we talk it out. If I got a problem with you, we talk it out. And we've been doing this so long, and we've shown up for each other so many times that I trust you. Like, it's nothing but love here. And I think that's a blessing that both you and I have, and I don't think that it's very common. I mean, just look at adult men. They have incredibly dysfunctional relationships with one another. Of course, the kids are going to have dysfunctional relationships and look for the thing that's attractive. Like, my message is to everyone, not just the youth, because the youth are a symptom of the rest of ours problem.
Mm-hmm. As the kids would say, that's a bar. I mean, it's really important. And we would share that with our students, that having a healthy relationship and seeing what a healthy relationship looks like is really important. And as you mentioned, seeing men have healthy relationships and not tear each other down and pick each other up and, you know, continue to be there for one another. I mean, you know, that's real loyalty, you know. in the gang, that's a word that they throw around. They throw around the loyalty word, but as soon as something really goes down, I could ask people that been a part of gangs, like, who was really there for you when this happened, especially when they get in trouble or something like that, who was really there to help you get out of that. And I don't mean fighting, and I don't mean violence. I mean like trouble with the law, trouble with life, so I agree totally that we need to be better as men, so that youth can see what healthy looks like, and then now they can mimic that, and they can practice, for their generation, because we're different. Our generation is different from theirs.
All generations are different.
They're all different, so.
Not in a better or worse way. They just are.
Yeah. Jeremy, I can talk to you for hours.
I know. We do talk for hours, so
yeah,
we can't record it all.
Again, I'm extremely appreciative that you're here and that our audience is able to hear your wisdom and you're able to share that. And thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
We hope you found this episode informative. We look forward to continuing the conversation, and stay tuned for our next episode.
You're listening to a production from The Cause. Learn more at causetheworld.com.